Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming to you again from the Scott Hogan Golf Training Center here in Joliet, Illinois. Had a little bit of a break, got the summer months going with a lot of tournaments, things like that, but we're excited to be back, bringing you some more content throughout the fall, throughout the winter, and helping you get better at your golf game. Today, we're going to be talking about controlling the club face and the role your body and your arms play in doing that. So as we start looking at the club face here, all right, so one of the things that I think most people struggle with in golf, and it's not a surprise since most people slice the golf ball, but they have a real hard time understanding the role of different areas of their body and their arms and what it does to affect the golf club face. So we've talked about this in the past, but we're going to go over real quick again what creates a slice. Well, a slice is I've got an open club face, all right? So if we're at this halfway down position in the golf swing, if I have a face that's pointed up at the sky, well, that's open. If I bring that down to the ball, I'm gonna have some issues, all right? There's really nothing I can do to stop it from going to the right unless I do something crazy, which is flip. So one thing that I wanna start off this video by is defining what does your body do and what does your arms do. If I'm swinging a golf club, all right, and we're going to do this just up here in the air, okay? One of the things most people will tell me, like when they slice it, they'll say, oh, I didn't turn through it. Well, if we start looking at it, I'm going to hold this golf club as light as I can. So it's held as light as I can right now, okay? I'm going to give myself some space. And so what we're looking at is if I start to bring it back and I just turn, and I'm trying to put zero influence on the golf club right now, what do you see happen? That club starts to turn and it points up at the sky. Again, we just said that's an open club face. So when we turn our body, that's actually something that helps open up the club face, not close it, okay? Now, if I stood here and I just moved my arms and no body, what you're going to see is it's very easy to get the club face pointed down at the ground. That's a closed club face. So your arms are going to have some sort of role in closing the club face. So remember, if you're just turning, you're going to open the face. If you're just going arms, you're going to close the face. That's why, again, a lot of people will see their body stall out. Again, they'll look like they have no turn because they'll be coming down, the body's going to stop, and they're going to flip the golf club. Well, it's because the club face is open, and this smart thing up here, our brain says, you know what, I got to do something to shut the face. So it goes for a flip. What I always hear people talk about is you'll see somebody like Dustin Johnson, one of those types of players that have very fast hip movement. And they'll say, okay, well, how do they hit it? Their hips are going crazy. Well, the one thing, or now on the scene now is Brooks Koepka, one thing you have to pay attention to is the angle of their club face as they're going into the ball. We all seen before, if you see Dustin Johnson, you're going to see up at the top, his club face is pointed straight up at the sky, and when he's coming down, it's pretty shut. And so he has to turn and clear his body to keep that face from being way too closed at impact. If he does miss, you'll see him a lot of times he'll struggle hitting it left when he's not swinging his greatest. But he's really just matching up the fact that his hips are really fast, which that again opens the club face, so he's counteracting that by getting the face shut. Okay? Again, that's a matchup that works. Now, most of us don't have that type of hip speed. Okay, we don't move our hips, we don't rotate as fast as a professional does or a high-level professional does. So for us, we've got to make some decisions. One, we've got to look at our ability to rotate. If we have some ability to rotate, we could look at getting the face a little more shut, okay? That would just let our body rotate and keep the face fairly square. And all of a sudden you have the square club face, and actually you probably can hit a draw from there too. The other thing though you have to look at is you have to realize, all right, if I'm not somebody that can rotate very well, and I would argue that very few actually can rotate out of a normal population. I know personally I am not the biggest rotator. It takes a lot of work to be able to do that. But what we have to start looking at then is how can I use my arms to start shutting the club face and being more active there. So again, you kind of have to make this decision as you go through. Are you an arms shutting of the club face? Or can you get in a position where you get the face very shut and you're going to rotate? Again, you have to have that ability to rotate and do it safely. That's a key word as well there. So something to think about when you're going through and you're starting to think, oh, I'm slicing it, I'm turning too much. Is it really you're turning, or sorry, you're not turning enough? Is it really that you're not turning enough, or are you maybe turning too much? Or is the club face just not in a position to match up what you're intending to do? Okay, so something to think about. If you're having a club face that's open, start thinking, okay, am I somebody that turns and that's why it's too open because I don't have it closed enough to start? Or do I just need to engage my arms more to start getting this face right off the bat from the top to start shutting? And if I can do that, am I able to hit the ball and square it up a little better? Two things to think about. Again, I think they're very commonly confused, but if you start getting them and understanding what they do, you can have better matchups in your golf swing throughout your whole swing, and you're going to have a better time, an easier time hitting it straight, gaining some distance, having more fun playing golf. So thanks for watching this clip. If you want to see more clips, please make sure you click the subscribe button below. We are excited to bring you a bunch more content throughout the fall and the winter, and we want to make sure you don't miss any of that. So again, click subscribe below, and we'll see you in the next video.